G'day ladies and gents, and welcome back to Kingdom Come Deliverance with Mags, and welcome to Talmberg. Continuing on from the last episode, we've just met with Sir Devish, the Lord of Talmberg, and we are now getting ourselves situated in our new surroundings. And first things first, we gotta grab a feed.
You've done well, lad. I'm sorry for your loss.
Please tell me what happened in Scouts.
You must be all done
I have
in.
a kin there.
Why don't you go to the kitchen and have a good meal? Sorrow
Alright.
is easier to bear on a full stomach.
It's Hungry Henry
I
time.
heard about
But first
your
things
father.
first.
They say he was a swordsmith who moved to the
I'll be there in a
countryside.
second, mate. You had a question?
I can't understand why he wasted talent,
Okay. I want to do as many of
Fine
these as
sunny
I
day until
can.
Sigismund came with his army. I saw him sitting there with his red beard and proud posture as he gave the signal to attack.
Oh no.
I ran to the castle for shelter with the others. Behind me I could hear the shouts of the attackers and the screams of the wounded. Then I turned and saw father trying to save mother. They were both killed. The gate was closed by then. The men on the battlements were calling to me to run and warn you here. And with God's help I made it.
My God, that's horrible. You were lucky to survive. And our thanks for warning us. I'll pray that you see better times.
Henry isn't a bad storyteller, but I want to do as many of those as I possibly can, because each one is going to improve my speech ability, which I get the feeling is something that I'm going to actually need much later on.
Ah, milady. You are fortunate our good lady Stephanie of Talmberg has graced us with her presence.
My lady, I'm honoured.
So this is our brave young man. Welcome, lad. Bojena here will take care of you. No doubt you're tired and hungry.
Indeed. How could he not be, poor soul? After everything he's been through, he must be as hungry as a bear, aren't you, young master? Here you are, then. Eat your fill.
And a little wine to wash it down.
Thank you, my lady.
When you're done, you can go and rest with the grooms in the Outer Bailey.
No, that won't do, Sir Robard. After all he's been through, he deserves a proper bed. Let him sleep in a lodge in the courtyard.
Certainly, milady. Young Henry here is overwhelmed by your generosity.
Yes, thank you, my lady.
Not quite the
God
sharpest
reward you
tact
for your
when dealing
kindness.
with the nobles.
Eat up now. You're in capable hands, so I'll leave you to it. Good night.
Good night.
Good night, man.
When you've done, you can sleep in the bedchamber of the courtyard lodge. And don't forget to take off those filthy boots before getting into bed.
He's serious about that too, by the way. So anyways, this is basically a little tutorial on eating, which sounds silly, but it is something that has to be in. In its quest to make the game as realistic as possible, there is actually a hunger mechanic in this game, and there are some nasty side effects if you do not feed yourself often enough. So long as you keep it in mind at all times and you're always carrying food or picking up fresh food as you move along, it's not a major issue, and it's not as annoying as some that I've seen, but it is still something you've got to account for.
You're that lad from Skalitz.
And that's another opportunity to have a little conversation.
I can tell you what happened, but I don't understand why. We were just going about our usual business when the soldiers came and began their slaughter. Anyone who couldn't flee to the castle was cut down. They destroyed everything. It's a miracle I escaped with my life.
Henry does come across as a little bit of a whiner at all of this, although I suppose that sort of fits, but it's not really the way I want to roleplay the character, so I'll have to make some adjustments. Anyways, at this point we need to sleep. I'm sure you've noticed the heavy eyelids and the nodding head. The game actually models sleep deprivation, so oh yeah, I'm going to pass out soon enough. Alright, let's get our boots off. Actually, considering what we'll be staying in will be essentially a guest house for travelling nobles, probably best to strip the whole lot off and not mess the bed up, and just keep our sword close. But anyways, time for a little nap. Now, this is the first time we actually get to use the sleep mechanic. So this is technically a tutorial, I suppose. We're still sort of there. And you can see what our comfort rating is, how much nourishment we're going to consume, what our energy will be after our sleep. All the information's there. Of course, that's assuming we actually get a full night's sleep.
Today the patrols will be doubled. Keep your eyes peeled. If you see anything out of the ordinary, report it immediately. Understood? Yes, sir.
Yes?
It is I, Henry. Forgive the intrusion.
No.
I didn't wake you, boy, did I?
Henry,
My lady.
danger close. Danger close.
No, not at all. But what brings you here at this hour?
I thought you could do with a little wine.
Yes, of course. A young
It's just
noblewoman
what you
bringing
need to
in
help
wine
us.
to the bedchambers of a
My
young
lady.
man who has only just arrived
Thank
in
you.
the castle at a
Really
time
shouldn't.
known for being highly religious
sent
and
us
highly
home.
conservative.
I was going to. But to tell you the truth, I couldn't sleep either. I thought of you while saying my prayers. How awful it must have been for you. I came to offer you solace. To let you know you're not alone.
Yes, and in the middle of the night, that's
Thank you.
precisely the problem. This is how young men get hung.
Thank you kindly.
You're welcome. Now, Henry,
Yep, what did I say?
I know this is all very new and strange for you,
And a smooth disengage there.
but I want you to feel at home here. You're not to worry about anything except getting better. God knows you've been through a terrible ordeal. I know what it is to be left alone in the world, although your loss is much greater. But with God's help, the pain will ease in time. And it can help to talk about it, if you feel like it.
So long as talking is all that is done, we're cool with this.
I'll never forget the horror. It will haunt me for the rest of my life.
That's terrible. How could something like that happen?
God alone knows why he lets such things happen.
You poor boy. I understand your grief, but God is not to blame for the ills of this world. That is the work of Satan and those who do his bidding. Those who are corrupted by greed, envy, and pride. You must not lose faith, whatever life brings. Fate has not been merciful to me, and my husband either. Although in comparison to the horrors you went through. I was young when I married my husband. It was my father's wish. Divish was a lot older than I, but a woman must bear her lot. Shortly after our marriage, before I even got a look at Talmberg, the castle was stormed and my husband was imprisoned.
Really?
My husband had some quarrel with Sir Havel Medek of Valdek, who decided to resolve it by force. He stormed the castle, burned down the village of Probislavitz, and killed many of our men, even the old chamberlain. He imprisoned my husband in the castle and put his own garrison there.
That's awful.
I was barely 18 years old, and all of a sudden, I was left alone with Sir Robert. We didn't know what to do. We went to Prague to appeal to the king and sought help from Divish's friends, but all to no avail. We tried for years, but it seemed I was destined to be left alone and my husband to rot in jail in his own castle.
Years, you say?
7 years. That's how long it took before Havel was condemned as an enemy of the crown. And even then, he refused to surrender the castle and release my husband. In the end, I raised the money to pay a ransom, and only then, by the grace of Lord Jesus, did I finally lay eyes on my husband once more.
7 years. And was Harville punished for it?
Never. And after 7 years, my husband returned to me an infirm old man.
Called it.
Sir Divish seems like a good, strong man.
Certainly, only he has many concerns. He had to rebuild Talmberg. After he was released, the king appointed him Burgrave of Prague Castle, and he was very busy. He had no time for me at all. But at least we were in the city, and there was something going on. And now, we're here.
My lady, you're still young and beautiful. Your best years are still ahead of you.
And Henry walks right into the trap.
Would that that were true, lad. Would it were true. But what am I doing bothering you with this? You have troubles enough of your own. I'll go and let you sleep. I enjoyed our little talk, Henry. Good night, and God bless.
Good night, my lady.
Yeah, Henry, mate, getting friendly with the Lord's wife the first night you're in the castle, the Lord that you are currently reliant on for your security and survival, not smart, mate. Not smart. You at least wait until the Lord goes away for a weekend.
Move in, people! Come on! Come on! We're running out of time! Quickly! We have to close the gates! You can't go back!
Henry, help us!
Help us, son. Don't be a coward.
Henry, wake up. You don't want to miss this.
What is it? What's happening?
Come to the battlements. One of our patrols reported a company heading here from Galax.
And for the second time tonight, our sleep is interrupted. No wonder Henry's stamina is so low. So, thankfully, I do know my way around the castle a little bit, but we're still going to grab ourselves a fresh torch and head out. And at this point, you've got to love these rain effects. This just looks great. The lighting effects with the torch are also rather fantastic as well, and then you'll start to notice, if you look around, the little details that have gone in. Like the pathway here, you'll notice that there is a little drain running through the centre of it, which is deliberately to drain the water away from the bailey, and to make sure it's directed to the place where it needs to go in order to not flood anywhere and make a mess of the courtyard. Once again, the attention to detail in this game is
We should have fled to the woods.
rather
Keep your old
obsessive.
wives' tales to yourself.
Still, I had to cut out a little bit here because I did spend about 5 or 10 minutes just looking at the textures on the wall because I thought they were rather impressive. So,
What's going on?
let's move on.
I don't know. It doesn't make sense. Why would Sigismund advance on Talmberg in the night? Especially since he's lost the element of surprise after the raid on Galax.
Maybe it's not him.
Then who is it? The scouts Divish sent to Galax to spy on Sigismund. Said he'd set up camp and was getting ready to storm the castle. And so Radzig is an experienced soldier. He'd surely hold the castle for quite some time. It doesn't make sense.
What else did the spies see?
Not much of anything. Before they could get close enough, this huge storm started. And you were right. Sigismund has a hell of a lot of soldiers, including all manner of mercenaries. An army like that costs a fortune. Well, anyway, we'll find out when they get here, won't we?
Aye, we will.
God be with you.
Although the attention to detail is very impressive, there is one little mistake that I did notice the whole way through this. Even in the rain, everyone's dry.
Halt! Who goes there?
Lucifer and all his minions! Who else, Rubber?
Sir Ansig! What a relief.
Is his lordship there with you?
Yes, sir, he is right here.
What are you doing up so late, Divish? At your age, you need a good night's sleep.
Well, Radzik, you didn't exactly pick the best time for an outing either. In a big hurry?
It was a bit of a scramble, all right. Believe it or not, this tempest is a godsend for me and my men. As my old granddad used to say, better a sore throat than a slit throat.
I'd say your grandfather was a wise man. Your messenger told us what happened.
Messenger?
The lad you sent to warn us.
He's alive? He made it to you?
He's here with me. He only got away by the skin of his teeth, though.
Thank God.
A brave young man. But tell me, friend, how on earth did you manage to get away?
Thank God for this tempest. When it began, Sigismund's Tatars crawled into their holes and left the storm in the castle for more clement weather. We were able to sneak out right under their noses. The Lord be praised. We wouldn't have stood a chance against them.
Would you like to spend the night in Talmberg?
No, no. When Sigismund finds the castle empty tomorrow, he might come looking for us. We'd only be exposing you to danger. Without me and my men, he has no call to attack you.
What will you do then?
We'll march to Ratai. It's only a short way, and there we'll have a better chance of defense and enough room for all of these people. If Sigismund should come, better bend your knee, Divish. There's no point dying in a battle that's futile.
You're right there.
Is that boy still with you?
I'm here, sir.
You have courage, lad. That I can't deny. I am sorry about what happened. Would you care to join us?
I'd like to, sir, but first I have to return to Galax.
Are you mad? What do you want there?
I can't leave my mother and father. I won't leave their corpses rotting in the street. I'll join you once I've taken care of them.
Don't even think of going back there, you donkey. Are you tired of living?
But sir!
Quiet! I'm sorry about your father, but getting killed as well won't help him. Divish, make sure that lad doesn't budge from Talmberg until things quieten down.
Not to worry, friend. Anyway, he's injured and needs to recover. I'll lock him up here as if he were Havel of Baldic.
I've seen you've grown a thick skin since your tribulation, sir. But thank you. We'll meet again when circumstances are more favorable. Farewell.
Farewell, friend, and good fortune. Give my regards to Sir Hanush.
I will. And good luck to you and your people, too. These are dark times. Move out!
So, the survivors of Galax have managed to escape under the cover of the thunderstorm and are heading to Ratai. We will encounter them a little bit later. But first, we appear to have been grounded.
Men, tonight we'll have triple patrols. Sort out the watches between you as always. And if I catch anyone boozing, playing dice or slacking off, I'll personally break every bone in his body. I want you to keep a close eye on everything nearby. Sigismund will surely have sent spies, and likely men as well, to follow the Galax people, now he knows they've fled. Keep your eyes peeled, and report everything to me at once. Understood?
What is it you need?
I could use an extra pair of eyes, and yours are keen. Will you keep watch on the battlements with my men?
Is that a request or an order?
I'd rather it was a request rather than yes.
Of course I'll help. I'll have to pay you back somehow after all you've done to me.
Splendid. And don't worry, I'll tell the men to relieve you later. Take care.
You know, I might take the piss out of Henry, but his parents were killed this morning, he's rode between two towns, been shot in the leg, had 2 hours sleep, and is now standing watch in a rainstorm. He's actually tough as nails.
Wandering around like a stray sheep. Must be your first watch, eh? I don't think anything much will be happening today. You can just lean against the wall and wait till morning. I'll show you what's what.
I will. Thank you.
And so enters the weight mechanic tutorial. As I said in the last video, the way they've chained all of these together to make a free-flowing tutorial is actually really well done. But that does not sound good. That is a very loud horn, which for this time period is the equivalent of an air raid siren.
tongue out of blood scallops.
Holy Mary, Mother of God, pray for us sinners.
See how the self-appointed king wins the love and respect of his loyal subjects.
Indeed, Robard. Sigismund of Luxembourg has a rare talent for winning people over to his cause. You may be in for a surprise, though. I don't think he will set his heathen dogs on us today.
Greetings, Lord of Talmberg.
That's the bastard who led the attack at Scarlet and killed my parents.
Don't be an idiot. Do you want to end up like them?
I am Sir Markwart von Aulitz. I come in the name of Sigismund of Luxembourg, King of Hungary and Croatia, who has resolved to strike against those who disrupt concord in the land and to restore order in the name of his brother, King Wenceslaus IV.
Restore order by burning and pillaging the king's estates.
Greetings, Sir Markwart. The efforts of the king's brother to bring order to this chaotic land are undoubtedly noble. It seems to me, though, that he and his army have somewhat strayed. As Burgrave of Prague Castle, I am entirely beholden to the king, and here in Talmberg divine peace reigned until your arrival. To what then do we owe the honor of your visit?
Yesterday, His Majesty took action against the enemy of the kingdom, Sir Radzig Kobyla, who has been using the silver from the Skalitz mine to fund insurrection against the crown. Unfortunately, the insurgent escaped. Would you happen to know, noble sir, where he might be at this time?
As far as I know, the Sir Radzig of which you speak is the king's hetman at Skalitz. I find it hard to imagine that he would rebel against our king. Nevertheless, I can assure you that Sir Radzig is not at Talmberg. He would be a fool indeed to flee from one castle, where he has little chance of defense, to another, where he has even less. Or do you take the view that my humble manner is any obstacle to your army?
Am I to inform the king then that Sir Radzig Kobyla is not at Talmberg and that he has your loyalty?
Sir Radzig Kobyla is not here, and I have no intentions of getting embroiled in affairs from which I have nothing to gain.
Very well, sir. As you wish. I will relay your words to the king in the hope he will be as well disposed as you seem to be.
Those who have clean consciences and goodwill may find themselves well disposed even at moments like this, when there's little cause for joy. Farewell, sir.
Auf Wiedersehen.
My lord, you have my utmost admiration.
Get on with you, Robard.
And we learn a little something about Sir Divish. He has quite the silver tongue, managing to talk down this entire fight without once at any point pledging fealty to Sigismund or betraying the king. Something I'm quite sure that Sigismund and his offsider noticed. So to finish up, we do need to have a bit of a chat with Sir Robert, because we do actually need to get out of here. And that's one way to get down.
Good health to you.
Alright, we have to get to
I need
Skalitz.
to get to Skalitz.
What would you do there, lad? Sigismund might have left, but the place will be swamped with robber barons, brigands, deserters, and other vermin. And anyway, your lord commanded you to stay here.
So, 265, I honestly don't think there's any way to talk Sir
My
Robert
parents
down.
died there, and I won't leave them to be ravaged by dogs. I have to bury them.
Good God, boy. Do you want to throw your life away for those who can never get theirs back? Do you think that's what they'd want?
Well,
Forget
that
it.
was expected, but we can get a little info on what the hell is actually happening here.
Why did Sigismund burn down Skalitz and then come here too?
That's war for you, lad. Certain lords have resolved to take things into their own hands and eliminate anyone who doesn't share their view. Unfortunately, Sir Radzig is one of those. And what's more, he was sitting on a pile of silver that could help King Wenceslas's allies.
So, Radzig was anti-Sigismund, and Skalitz had silver.
What happened in Kuttenberg?
Gutenberg, well, I'm just a simple soldier, but the good Lord gave me ears, and I've heard some things from Sir Divish and from those who fled from Sigismund's pillaging.
Were there many?
Indeed, but it was the Kuttenberg mercenaries who came to see me, because I knew them from before.
I see.
Listen, lad, these are all games of the high aristocracy. In Prague, a cabal of nobles rebelled against King Wenceslas, wealthy aristocrats who took against our king for reasons of their own. There's no doubt Sigismund had his fingers in the whole affair, him and Wenceslas's cousin, Jobst. And that cabal helped him abduct the king.
So then why did Sigismund attack Kuttenberg?
Why do you think?
I honestly had no idea, so I just took a guess.
Because the lords there could have risen against him with their armies and stopped his conquest of the Bohemian territories?
That's part of it. King Charles, may God grant him eternal glory, built Prague into a proper royal city, while King Wenceslas took a liking to Kuttenberg. After Prague, it's the most important city in Bohemia, in the entire Holy Roman Empire. He who commands the Kuttenberg silver is king.
So Kuttenberg sided with Wenceslas because he favoured it?
Now you're starting to understand. When Sigismund imprisoned Wenceslas and took control of Prague, the people of Kuttenberg began to raise an army against him. So with the attack on Kuttenberg, Sigismund killed two birds with one stone. He defeated Wenceslas's most powerful allies before they could stand against him, and also gained immense wealth.
Well, last question is about the Cumans.
Where did these Cumans come from anyway?
I don't know much about them, only what the Chamberlain said, that they came to Hungary from the east and settled there. They're godless barbarians and merciless fighters. The nobles used to say the Hungarian king shouldn't enlist them, because they dishonor our rules of warfare. But when there's power and money to be had, it seems that honor isn't worth my spit. And believe me, it's always about power and money.
So, really nothing has changed in 600 years. Anyways, ladies and gents, I hope you enjoyed the video, and thank you very much for watching. We're going to bring this one to a close right here, but we will be returning to Kingdom Come Deliverance in the very near future. Anyways, guys, until next time, remember to click that like button if you did enjoy this video, share and subscribe if you would like to see more, and as always, take care.